Hey everyone, this is Brian, and this is another episode of Friday Night Follies. And yeah, today we're going to do something a little different. As you saw in the intro, my other hobby. I have a couple reasons why I'm doing this. One of them, as you all know, Rick Zink's daughter Victoria, Andy from Aries Styrene, his life partner Bella, Butch from BK Models, his brother, they all passed in recent weeks. That's tough. Yeah, that's really tough. The community is a tight-knit group, and we feel it. And yeah, okay. Sorry about that. Oops. I cannot say that I 100% understand. I've never lost a immediate family member, but I have lost some people this year as well, and my heart aches for them and for you guys, because I know I have a good idea of what you're feeling. The other things that I've got going on here that I want to cover, we have a good member of the community that was gracious enough to bless me with a couple of kits. Mr. Doug Hensley sent me, and he warned me it was coming, and warn is probably a good word. Yeah, the Cutty Shark in 350 scale, and when you line this up against the Missouri, this thing probably would fit on its fantail. Obviously I haven't opened it. I don't know what the parameters of the rigging are, but hopefully steadier hands and better eyes will prevail when building this, depending on what kind of rigging it is. I'm not going to buy any aftermarket stuff for this. I'll probably build it straight out of the box and do the best I can. Then he sent me a second kit, the wooden version of it. It does not show sales in the wooden version, which is either a plus or not. Don't quite know who the manufacturer is. All it says is wooden basic boat kit, ages 10 to 100 for $1.99. Not sure what year this is, but 10? Okay, maybe. But 100? If you're 100 years old and you have the vision and the steadiness in your hands to build this wooden kit, I quit. Because that's just too phenomenal. Thanks, Doug. They will be on my bench, and I will give it my heartfelt old college try. I really appreciate it, buddy. Okay, the reason for this video, the main reason for this video, is photography. It is my second hobby, although I like to say it's my adjacent hobby, because I love it as much as I love building models. So I try to kind of balance the two. The other thing is that some of you may know and some of you may not know, I have a genetic mutation in my retinas. And the medical term for it is retinitis pigmentosa, RP for short. And as a result of that, it affects your night vision when you're young, and then it slowly just turns the lights out over years. I was diagnosed when I was 14, and I'm not using a cane or a dog yet. So, time is not on my side for enjoying either one of these hobbies. That being said, most of you, when you look up at the night sky on a clear, crisp night, either in the fall or the winter or whenever you can get out away from the city and look up, you see millions of stars. Constellations, Milky Way, yada, yada, yada. I do not. When I was younger, I saw more of them, but now it's basically like the North Star, the planets, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, the moon, obviously. I did spot the International Space Station I found out last night. I was taking pictures the other night, and I saw this bright, flashing kind of object up at an angle. So I put my camera in on it, and I focused best I could with it and took a bunch of pictures in different settings. And the best I could do was come up with a bright, shiny light in the middle, and then out on the sides you could see the solar panels a little bit in detail in their brassish gold color out on the edges. I tried cropping and zooming in on it. I've tried editing it. I can't get it discernible enough to know, other than the fact that on the news last night they said the International Space Station had flown over the other night, and they took pictures of downtown Minneapolis, and there's Target Field just as plain as day. So I got my confirmation. What I suspected was true. I did get a picture of it, but it wasn't worth putting up here because you really can't tell unless you know what you're looking at. Now, because of all that, I started getting into astrophotography, which is night sky, and I could have been doing this all along. I had a regular camera, a Canon E1 when I was in high school, blah, 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 just kind of like with modeling. I did it when I was young. I got away from it. Now I came back to it about 10 years ago with this one, when the DSLR started coming out. And I never either didn't investigate or whatever, but seeing the stars as of late has become kind of an obsession, if you were to ask Candy, my wife. I finally got the lens and the capability to do a decent job. I'm still learning, amateur hour here, but that is how I can see what you see. That is my goal for all this, is to be able to explore the world and see what other people see in the night sky. What you are about to see is not just that. I have picked out a number of photos that I feel are some of my better photos and the ones that I have special meaning to me in. Yeah, I know people, oh man, we're gonna watch somebody else's vacation. That's not the purpose for this. This is just to show what else I enjoy doing. And with Bella's love for photography, I thought it was fitting to throw the two in together. Now, a lot of people, you know, they take a picture and they'll look at it and they'll go, wow, this could be professional. Yeah, could be. And maybe not. We all love taking pictures, you know. We all, you know, oh, look at the shot I got. This thing is awesome. I wonder if I can sell it. You may not say that out loud, but in the back of your mind, there's an itch you can't scratch where you wonder how this would stack up. You know, some of the professional photos that are out there. Most of those people, their equipment, the old cell phone. Now, the technology in these things has gotten amazing. There's a setting on here for Pro Mode where you can set the ISO, the shutter speed, the white light balance, the whole 9 yards. And if you can put this on some kind of a tripod, you could probably do pretty good with it. The only problem is when you go to blow it up. If you take a photo on here and you want to blow it up 8x10 or larger, it's going to get grainy on you and it's not going to be a real sharp image. Where this, you can really adjust it and hone it to where you can blow it up to poster size if you want. But there again, you have to spend thousands of dollars on the correct lenses and blah, yada, yada, yada. You get the picture. So these two lenses I bought with the camera in a kit. Now, their quality is not what it would be if you went to Canon's website and you bought an 1855, you know, what is this? 3-point something lens, or a 55 to 250 lens. What I got, the value in this kit compared to what this lens would be out on the open market is like peanuts. But this one I actually dropped in Lake Superior. Kane and I were up at Grand Marais crawling around on the rocks trying to get photos. And I set it down for whatever reason on a rock in front of me while I was going to climb up the rocks. And I didn't want it to fall out of my hoodie pouch, so I took it out and I set them both up there. And this one, for whatever reason, tipped over, rolled down, you know, splash right into the lake. I grabbed it quick, but it already filled up with water. I took off the covers, dumped all the water out, put it in a bag of rice. That was 7 years ago. That's still working. So, even though it's a kit lens, pretty durable. This lens here is what the night vision that you'll see, the night sky, this is the lens I used. It is an 18 to 400 millimeter lens, and it's what I try to take the picture of the International Space Station with. And if I put a 2x teleconverter on it, I might have been able to get a better shot because that would push it out to 800 millimeters, which is quite a ways. But this thing, if you're going to do that, you need a fairly sturdy tripod because this thing gets heavy when it's extended out like that. So somebody's wasting gas on their motorcycle next door. Anyway, so that's what I shot all that with. I don't know what you're going to see this episode on. If it's a tablet, your phone, your computer, your TV, but depending on what it is, you may or may not see it the same way I did when I put it together, depending on your settings on your screens. When I take pictures with this thing at night and look at it through the LCD screen in the back, it's just vibrant and beautiful. I'm like, oh man, that's an awesome shot. I get it back up to my computer and it's dull. You can still see them, but if you try to increase one aspect of it, you mess up another aspect of it. So what you see is the best I could do with the pictures. I want to get a different lens. The lens I want is like a 10 to 16 millimeter lens with a 1.4 aperture, if you understand what that is, and which lets a lot of light in. But that's like $2,000 for that lens. Yeah. And you thought the modeling hobby was expensive. So, like I said, depending on how you're watching it, just bear in mind it may not be exactly the same as what I got. Crap, now I lost my train of thought. At any rate, the photos that I take, at least everyone, you know, is like most photographers, is how they see the world through a lens. I can walk along and just be looking around, and all of a sudden I'll see something, and I'm kind of abstract, where you'll have a building, the corner of a building, or the top of a building, or some piece of art, or a tree, or something in the foreground, and then you see in the background something behind it, and you kind of look at it and go, well, that's kind of a cool shot. So you take a picture of it, and it turns out to be kind of a cool shot. The other thing I like is macro photography, where the object in front is sharp and vivid and the background's blurred. Or you can flip that around and the foreground is blurred and the object in the background is sharp. I have a couple pictures of looking at a lighthouse through a tree. You can see the top of the lighthouse just fine, sharp and vivid, but the tree's fuzzed out. So that's the kind of things I like to do. There's also something called licensed creativity, for lack of a better term. Creative licensing. Some of the photos that I took in Hawaii, I've enhanced to give them a little bit more pizzazz. I'm not a portrait photographer. In other words, I don't take pictures of people per se. I like landscapes, you know, flowers, occasional animal, that kind of thing, wildlife. But so some of the beach shots that I took in Hawaii, I literally removed in editing the people that were on the beach, so that it was just the beach the way I wanted to see it. So I call that creative license. So I hope you enjoy it. If you don't want to watch this because, oh, somebody's family photos, blah, 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 I get that. This is just me expressing my other hobby, which we kind of did a thing a few years ago. What's your other hobby besides modeling, blah, blah, blah. If you want to get that started again, that would be cool. I have new subscribers, welcome. And a lot more new people in the community that may or may not have seen any of that. So if you're curious, this is my second hobby, and I hope you enjoy it. If you don't want to watch, I understand. You can just cut it off here. Maybe you cut it off already. So in the spirit of the weekend, cheers everybody. Butch, Andy, Rick, our hearts are with you, my friends. Take care and have solace in knowing that we are there with you. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. Take care.